tell me one thing you're excited to find out in this space sometime in the next year, be it something from a clinical trial that we're expecting some top line results for. What are you guys most excited about in the neovascular AMD space in the next year?
I'll go first because I might run out of, if you have to go through all four of us. I'm excited. I'm excited about home OCT, and not just necessarily home OCT, but all sorts of, it kind of ties into Rishi a bit, remote diagnostic testing. So patients can come in and just receive their treatment. I think that's going to be a real game changer.
I agree with you. I'm also very excited about high dose aflibercept, and that data may come out within the next year. That's looking at extra high molar concentration of aflibercept, and the phase 2 Candela study showed some positive data in relation to both OCT drying effect and visual acuity effects. So that is a promising new therapy in development.
Ali, Rishi?
Go ahead, Ali. I'm excited to see if suprachoroidal delivery of gene therapy actually works, because that seems quite simple to do and accessible, not only in the US, but elsewhere. So that would be exciting to me. And then I'm also excited to see how we as retina specialists try to advocate and manage all of the financial and regulatory and other concerns with payers, and how we do a good job of getting these options to patients regardless of what we think is better or worse, because I think that is actually going to be potentially a bigger challenge than anything looking forward.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to, I think, some of the comparator studies that may come in the future from some of these drugs that are coming into market now. I'm going to really want to see cases and examples and head-to-head studies, which probably will be done by individuals more than it will be done by pharmaceutical companies, to kind of explain the differences in the two drugs and what the outcomes can be. I mean, right now, everything looks very positive and very rosy, but is it really incrementally better? We'll learn that, I think, through some of these studies.
I think those are all wonderful points. To Rishi's point, anytime something new comes out, and industry is always picking our minds and saying what we think about this, that, and the other from the clinical trials, the truth will be known, over the ensuing 12 to 24 months as retina specialists get comfortable using something, identifying the appropriate patients. And, we love collecting series and publishing and presenting data. So we're going to find out over this next 12 to 24 month period how these drugs actually fare in the clinical world. And Diana, I was really glad you brought up Candela too, because the things I'm most excited about, as I mentioned earlier, is to date, nothing's really shown visual acuity superiority over really anything else in development. So it's part of a big reason why we're playing this durability game in trials. But if there's potentially any signal of something, I thought that was pretty exciting what we saw from the phase 2 Candela data, that through 44 weeks, I believe it was, with the high dose of aflibercept arm, that was 8 milligrams, so 4 times the dosage, at least had close to 2+ letters. I think it was like 8 letters of vision gain versus 5.7 letters. So it'll be exciting to see what the phase 3 data that does show. I think they're testing it in AMD and DME. And then a kind of a smaller compound, but I've been keeping an eye on it. We've gotten periodic updates on it, was from Opthea's OPT302, the VEGF-CD inhibitor. But at least in that phase 2 data, again, seemed to show almost a full line of vision benefit over the ranibizumab arm. So it'll be interesting to see whenever that becomes available, their phase 3 data. I think it was Coast and Shore trials are comparing to aflibercept and ranibizumab, if that actually carries through. So, yeah, this was a wonderful discussion on neovascular AMD.